Good morning, folks, and welcome to the beautiful Beauport Hotel here on Commercial Street in downtown Gloucester for another edition of Cape Ann Today Live. I am your host, Kory, along with my co-host, Heather Atwood. How are you, Heather?
I'm good, Kory. I'm great, actually.
Isn't this gorgeous?
Beautiful day, a little breeze, the sun is shining, and the Thomas Lannon is over my shoulder at setting sails.
There's also a very curious seagull just a few feet away.
Yeah, exactly.
Heather's begging to come over. You keep telling her, bad idea. But
Mike got that seagull. Mike it up.
Yeah, but we're so excited. We haven't been back at the Beauport since, I think it was the holidays 2019. Pre-COVID, we had that awesome holiday show here.
Right, that was before it all happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have a great list of guests to share with you today. But we also want to mention that we have a special musical guest as well. And she was here for the Beauport show.
She was here at Christmas that
a year and a half ago, yeah.
Yeah, a very special guest.
Yeah.
Really
Alexandra Grace is here. How are you, Alexandra? Thanks for doing this. And so you can feel free to strum along and play whenever you like, especially between guests, and we'll be hearing at least 2 original songs from you.
2 original songs, yeah.
And can we add that Alexandra has become a little bit famous since we saw her last? So we'll talk about that too, right?
Yeah, we had nothing to do with it, but...
Who knows?
Okay, so let's get rolling, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, so our first guest today is joining us is Jean Hennessy. She is the Director of Communications for the Beauport Hospitality Group. How are you, Jean?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. You've been our point person for all things Beauport.
That's right.
We work with you, and so we're so appreciative of sharing this time with you today and
this space. Yeah, this beautiful space.
Well, I'm so happy the event deck was available.
I
This
know.
is perfect.
And so good that you got that sun shining.
Yeah,
That was
well,
really handy.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We do what we can here.
Yeah. Well, so Jean, let's talk about life here at the hotel post-COVID and how you made the adjustment this summer. It's been booming every time I've been here.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
We are booming, and adjustment's an interesting word because I was thinking, what we're doing here and adjusting every day for the last year and a half. We're adjusting, and it's been a real lesson about what we need to do for our guests because, as you know, things changed continuously throughout the last year and a half. Now, once we open the doors, bam, we're just booming. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And we adjust here every day still.
Right. So are there any lessons that you've learned about hospitality in the past year?
Oh, 100%.
Surprises,
yes,
right?
Yes, absolutely. And it's important, it's always been important for us to take care of each guest as an individual, but now seeing how people reacted over the last year and a half, you can see how very important that is. Individuals reacted so differently and had so many different needs throughout the pandemic. That's an important lesson to carry on in hospitality in general, to see the difference in personalities.
Are there any examples of innovations you made during COVID that you're retaining?
Most importantly, our rooftop. Something that happened during COVID is we became more of a family destination, which is wonderful. Families found us, and they found our beach and the rooftop pool. As you may know, the rooftop pool is not huge, so we learned that we need to manage that differently and accommodate families differently than we do the rest of our guests.
Yeah. And so wedding season, right? How crazy has this been? Are we doing weddings on
So-
like Monday mornings now here?
Almost. We are having weddings every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, almost every Thursday, very many Mondays.
Really?
So almost every day of the week we have weddings because we were already very well booked for 2021. So all the folks who postponed their weddings in 2020 have kind of fit in the little gaps that we had, and then on Thursdays and Mondays.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
been
wonderful.
it's been awesome. We have people here all the time now, and it's so nice to see everybody back in
Have you
person.
noticed a difference in the guests here? Are they coming from further? Are there more day trippers, more locals discovering the hotel?
We've always enjoyed a drive market, I would say 60 miles out. Now we see more the Mid-Atlantic, Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey folks coming, upstate New York, more. It's a greater drive market that we're enjoying.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And are there specific things happening this summer here at the hotel? Like, are you rolling out different programs?
Well, one of the new things, and again, adjustments and innovations, and we have to reinvent ourselves all the time anyway. So it gave us some time to consider that. Well, when we were quieter during the pandemic. We opened a new Oyster Bar. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's not quite as Ray would say, oysterized yet because due to the pandemic, a lot of things are on back order still. So we don't have the big bins and the full Oyster Bar experience, but we are serving a different oyster menu each day, and it is beautiful. It's just brightens up the dining room so much. It's fabulous.
Yeah, and Jean walked me through the other day.
Oh, yeah.
It's gorgeous.
We got to do that,
Oh,
Kory.
my God,
We got to
yeah.
come and have
It's
some
gorgeous.
things.
We'll be back next week for that show. It's awesome.
Can I just ask about staffing? Everyone has had issues with staffing. Has the hotel?
We sure have. And Seaport Grill down the street and 1606, it's been very, very difficult. You know, people expect a certain Beauport experience, and we are working very hard. The folks we have here are really working so hard to rise to the occasion because we're shorthanded. We are hiring everywhere, every department, every property we're hiring. And that it's been an extreme challenge. It's a challenge for our guests, and it's a challenge for our staff here.
Do you offer them like a little time in the rooftop pool?
Why don't you think it over?
Yeah,
Go upstairs, think about it for a while.
Any ways you're
Sure,
trying to attract staff?
we have incentives. We have signing bonuses for certain critical positions, and we've been advertising anywhere we can think of. It's just everybody is shorthanded. It's tough.
Yeah, that's a top story in hospitality, right?
It is, and we appreciate the guest who appreciates that. You know, by and large, our guests understand that people in the hospitality industry are shorthanded, and they're coming in here with patience and enjoying the fact that they can be here at all and enjoying the experience.
Right.
But patience is a virtue.
Well, I've been here a couple of times to enjoy your lunch on the deck and in the bar area, and I never felt any lack of attention.
That is wonderful to hear because, as I said, the folks who are here are working very, very hard to make that happen. So that's great.
Yeah. So, Jean, for those maybe watching from outside the area, can you just give a quick overview of the amenities here at the hotel? It's 30 odd rooms, right?
94 rooms.
Oh, 94 rooms.
94 rooms.
30.
Yeah. I was thinking of Baskin Robbins.
Ice cream, Beauport
Sorry.
Hotel.
I was just watching the tray behind me here.
We have 94 rooms and 10,000 square feet of event space, including this beautiful deck. We have a full-service restaurant in 1606 that is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
To the public, right?
To the public,
Yeah.
all open to the public. And the rooftop, which is not open to the public, has the bird's eye bar. So you can order food up there as well.
Right.
With a pool and a hot tub. So that's a spectacular spot, but we save that for our overnight guests.
Right.
We also opened, I don't know if you're aware of this, since we saw you last, Tranquility, which is a wellness space in the hotel.
Oh.
It's not a spa per se, but it's a wellness space where people can enjoy a massage, Reiki, yoga, private yoga classes. So that was a tremendous new thing that we entered during COVID.
Right.
Nice addition.
It was. It's been very well received.
And we're situated right on Pavilion Beach, which is gorgeous and clean and sparkling today, and it's been a great summer for guests too. So, and guests can hang it on the beach. I see you have.
Absolutely. And another service we provide, though, is we give them chairs, a lunch, and everything, and then the shuttle take them over to Good Harbor Beach if they prefer. So there's a lot that they can do off property that we will facilitate for them.
Nice.
Oh, that's really nice.
So now, if people want to learn more about the Beauport Hotel or Beauport Hospitality Group in general, how can they go about doing that?
BeauportHospitality.com.
Very
We're
nice.
all there. BeauportHotel.com. You can find out everything's right there.
That's great. And then Jean, we believe, is going to be circling back to join us later in the show with a special guest. I don't want to get your hopes up, Heather, because I heard your stomach growl a little while ago.
Yeah. Well, I'm smelling breakfast over there.
Yeah.
It smells
It
so
smells
good.
very good,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Well, we appreciate you chatting with us, Jean. And again,
My
thank
pleasure.
you for your hospitality here again today for us. We really do appreciate
My
it.
pleasure. Thanks
okay,
for having
we'll
us.
see you in a little bit.
Alrighty.
Okay, Jean Hennessy, the Director of Communications here at the Beauport Hospitality Group. Thank you,
you,
Jean.
Jean.
Awesome. I mean, this place is such an ace. I love
And
coming
they
here.
added 60 rooms to your 30. That's
right, see?
That's so great,
Forward
right?
thinking, yeah. Love it.
No, it's beautiful, and I love the idea of this tranquility. That's just
Yeah.
a beautiful addition because
Yeah.
we all need that.
Yeah, I mean, they literally, the Beauport is one of the crown jewels of Cape Ann.
It is,
I mean, if you
yes.
haven't been here, and if you're from here and you haven't been here yet, it's like going on vacation in your own community.
And there's also a lot of history in this neighborhood, which we will hear about later.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah, that's the hope. Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, we're ready for our second guest?
We are, a little politics.
Yeah, let's start talking. Okay, Barry Pett is the ward councilor for this ward, Ward 2.
That is correct.
How are you, Barry?
I'm doing well
Yeah.
On this non-rainy, gorgeous day on the deck at Beauport Hotel. I mean,
And congratulations on your good health, because I
Thank
know
you.
you've had a couple of procedures and you
there's
look great.
some issues, and we're getting through it. There's always people that have something worth. I'm just happy that we live where we live, never mind in the United States, but in the Boston area, have the finest medical care in the world. So
true.
Yeah, we're happy
so
to hear
true.
that, Barry. So,
Wonderful.
Okay, so right off the top, the craziness in the last year and a half, what was it like managing the ward and being part of city government throughout COVID?
Obviously, it's difficult where we were not meeting in person for many people, but I think there's been a lot of pluses with the Zoom meetings, even though they're somewhat of a pain to do, and there's some downside to it. But we were able to get some people to be able to come and participate in the processes of city government in many ways by doing that, and we're sort of hoping that when this is all and we go back to the meeting in person, that we're going to still be able to do that. My biggest issue as the ward councilor is that the businesses, for the most part, that were suffering so horribly, and trying to assist them and getting things going, and the administration, the city administration, worked very, very hard to help the businesses, et cetera. We never mind, you saw the expanded dining into the streets, and then again that gets there's a few of the other merchants would rather not see parking disappear or whatever, but again, we're trying to help everybody survive, and we also have worked, myself and Councilor Cox, there was we got some legislative permission for those that had the seasonal liquor licenses
yeah.
to be able, just during, it wasn't for permanent, but just for during the pandemic year, they were able to keep open, et cetera. And even businesses like the pasta shop and the cheese, the cave, those types of things, or the Tony's Variety that had seasonal licenses.
Right.
Well, it made a big difference in for getting an extra 3.5 months of sales in being able to survive.
Right.
So what will happen with those licenses? Are we returning to
Oh
the
yes,
seasonal?
yeah.
Okay,
That's
so definitely.
as of now, we're back in the normal procedure, as though that had
Cycle.
never happened.
Okay.
So seasonal licenses are. I mean, there's a lot of discussion about changing the way we do things around liquor
Right.
licenses. But again, that's something that the city has to decide how they're going to, what they're going to do, and if they want to change things, they can do that. But like many right now, as if the city wanted to, okay, they just ask our legislative delegation, Representative Ferrante and Senator Tarr, for some additional liquor licenses, and that goes through up at the State House all the time.
Yeah, right.
So they could do that, but the problem with some of this is in changing the procedures is the people who do have those year-round liquor licenses have paid a lot of money for them, and how do you come? You just change the system overnight without having a way of compensating them.
Right.
So there's there is discussion among some people and about changing that, but for now it's just as far as from my standpoint, it's supporting all the businesses we have in whatever way, and then also trying to help our just the citizens, never mind that have been impacted by the pandemic, but just in the normal things. We have families have kids. We have the issue of a new school going in, and throughout, especially in Ward 2, the downtown, which is most of downtown, there's traffic and parking issues. And I work on all those with our constituents all the time.
Right.
And it seems like it seems like it's something you just may wave the magic wand and you correct the issue, and it's not that at all. It's a constant issue. But those are, things we work on. And then we have, obviously, you have the marine, waterfront.
The working waterfront.
And the working waterfront that has, it's not what it was just 10 years ago. It's not what it was 20 years or 30 years ago or whatever. But we have to find ways to keep supporting our local marine economy, coming up with some new ones like through GMGI and some of those types of type of work. But nationally, the government seems to not be on our side. I sort of leave it at that. No matter what some of the politicians say, it's more like a local fight to be able to still survive, and that's we have to. And again, the city administration is working, on a daily basis trying to, help that happen. And the council doesn't do, we're the legislative body for the city, so it's not like we can't wave that magic wand just by passing a law. But we can listen to the fishermen. We can, help where we can, and support the efforts of the city going forward, especially when they're working with the state delegations and the federal delegations both.
Right.
Barry, just for our listeners, I would love to hear you list the crown jewels, speaking of crown jewels, of the working waterfront, because there's some very serious businesses on the Gloucester waterfront that people may not be aware of, right?
They don't even see, here we are, a couple of doors down, okay? You say Ocean Crest Seafood used to be a large, company that was bringing fish over there and filleting fish and distributing it. Now their biggest thing is, what is it?
Fertilizer, right?
Neptune's Harvest.
Neptune's Harvest, yeah.
But that's a big business. It's a very large business.
Yeah.
Nationally, and I don't know. I don't know if it's international, but I believe it is.
Yeah.
It has gone international. That it's a phenomenal
Immortal
thing.
Hour Lobster is like
Immortal Hour has been around. Sometimes I think of Joey over there, and everything else, and it's like he gets all the TV time and the internet stuff with Good Morning Gloucester and everything, which is wonderful, and he does it. Has a wonderful business also. But like I said, Immortal Hour Lobster is
huge industry.
It's
right?
a very very large business.
Yeah.
You've had. And again, new things. GMGI, that building is just what's happening in there. It almost seems like there's a new story, every month of something else that's happening down there.
The
So
cutting edge science.
That's wonderful, and to see the development at Maritime Gloucester, and now with their the little aquarium they have, and so many of the programs going on, and even next door to there, the Harbor Master's office. They've been able to redo things, and now we have, for some of our visiting, recreational boaters, they have wonderful facilities there. They have shower facilities.
Right.
They have all those types of things.
Right.
So again, there are things going on the waterfront, but it's again everywhere, and it's difficult for people to get employees, and I'm not sure. I don't want to get into the politics of what's going on with some of that, but it's a shame that businesses that are trying to open back up and get past the pandemic, are some of them aren't able to open or open the way they want to because they can't even get the help.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, so let's get into the politics of politics now. So we have a big election coming up. You are running again,
yes,
right, for Ward 2 councilor. Well, I don't know how much I want to dip into this, but I think there's going to be a lot of changes this fall.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of big names who've been in the political ring for a long time
are not running again.
Yeah.
And that's the case. But if you look at your individual wards, Scott Memhart in Ward 1, who knock on wood. I don't want to knock on the microphone here, but just had a heart transplant less than 2 months ago, and he's running unopposed there. In Ward 2, there were 2 people that had taken out, but now it's only one.
Okay.
And in Ward 3, as far as I know, I think Adam Orlando is the only one running.
So you're right.
Even though Council President LeBlanc was there for 10 years and has is retiring. In Ward 4. Vice President Val Gilman is running unopposed, and in Ward 5, Sean Nolan is running unopposed. So that the ward councilors are hopefully, if I'm included, are being fairly consistent. There's a wholesale change in the at-large race. Some interesting people, including those that have served before to the city. And then there's just this huge contingent, running for mayor, and I'm not sure some of the qualifications of some of the people, whatever, but it's a great thing just to see people wanting to run for an office to get on there. I'm not sure that I like any time that we have to have a primary that isn't necessary for some kind of just because of the expense to the city. I mean, if it costs $20,000 or $30,000, that's $20,000 or $30,000 that might be able to put whatever it would be whatever use it would be put
and
to.
As of now, Barry, it looks like we're going to have a primary at least for the mayoral race.
Yes, correct. Correct.
And
I don't think I don't think the at-large race is going to do that because there's 4 seats and you have to have more than 8, et cetera. But I mean, again, Melissa Cox, who thank God for her work on budget and finance. She's been so detailed with that, and she was 2 before me as the Ward 2 council before she became at large. She's wonderful. She's not running. Council President LeBlanc is not running. John McCarthy, who served the city for 40 plus years in the police department and has therefore phenomenal experience and knowledge of how city government works, and was a very quiet and determined individual on the council, and John's not running again, et cetera. So again,
Jen Holmgren.
Yeah, and Jen, and she's not running for this time,
Do you think there's a level of exhaustion, or it's just personal issues amongst a variety?
I think a lot of it is like family. In most cases, I don't think it's anything else. I mean, when you have say like Steve LeBlanc, when you see the picture of him with a new grandchild, and when you talk to John McCarthy, who I'm sure he has a good pension from working for the city, but he was still willing to do this, but he's got family time to do, and I think he wants to get out and do some fishing. He's gonna, I think, he probably join Jim Destino out there, out doing their fishing thing, and maybe some time down south. I think that's a lot of it. I mean, sometimes people let the personal stuff, get to them. But I think, I always say Bruce Tarr grew up working for me, and everything he knows he learned from me while he worked for me, and that's not the case, let me tell you. I don't hold a candle to that, but he always said, again, you can have a discussion about things and we can agree to disagree, but there's no reason not to have a cordial discussion. And when you consider that in politics, basically, you're not going to please more than 50% of the people. You're not going to please them more than 50% of the time. So you're already down to 1 in 4. And if you let this get to you, then maybe, again, you do have to take another look. And
Well, Barry, so if people want to learn more about your platform and the issues and the challenges facing Ward 2, how can they go about doing that?
The easiest thing, I'm not the most computer literate person in the world.
I found you on Facebook.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I did too.
And you notice it still says Barry Pitt for Ward 2.
I did
That's
see
a
that.
way to find me, and it doesn't say a lot. I've never, that's still that's where I'm at. So you can find me on Facebook that way, or just as in on the city website, my phone number. Home number is 281-2822, and you can always
Call them at
call
home.
and leave, leave a message. And it's just again, I'm not the most literate person that way either. It's just a plain message that says, leave the message and I'll call you back.
Well,
Please do, and I'll do that.
I love that you were able to call one of our guests and ask, "Are you showing up today?" Thank you very much for that.
Wonderful.
So Barry, we wish
Thank you for having me.
continued good health.
Excellent.
We,
Yes.
we thank you for your service as well. Good luck. Come this fall
Excellent.
too, and we really appreciate your time this morning.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Barry. Barry Pett, the City Councilor for Ward 2. Right here. This is his home territory, Heather.
This is Ward 2.
Yeah, this is
right.
where it happens.
But downtown, City Hall, working waterfront, this is an important ward,
Yeah.
is it not?
It is.
Right?
It is.
A lot happening
And
here.
another big part of Ward 2, right, is Minglewood Harbor side.
Minglewood Harborside.
Which is-
Our next guest actually was a guest in my kitchen a bunch of years ago.
Really?
We cooked together.
That's
Yeah.
fine. Is he? Oh, Zach.
There he is.
This is Zach Sears. He is the general manager of Minglewood Harborside. How you doing, bud?
How are you?
Thanks for being here with
Thanks
us,
for
man.
having me.
Good to see you again.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's this weird? What's the kitchen story here? The kitchen guest story?
Yeah, Zach and Jeff
Yep.
Callis showed up, and then we did a video, and
Yep.
they cooked. And what did you make? I don't remember.
I honestly do not remember, but I
Yeah,
know
me
that
either.
the best chef in the building was you, for sure.
That
I
is
will
so not
definitely
true.
admit
Not
that,
a chef,
for sure.
a home cook. But thank you very
Yeah.
much. No.
Amazing kitchen.
And do you still make that buffalo cauliflower over there?
We still do.
Love
we would
that.
never be able to take it off
Yeah,
either.
that is the
Yeah.
best.
That's awesome stuff.
Yeah.
So Zach, we talked with Gene Hennessy a little bit about this before, just the challenges in the hospitality and restaurant industry,
Yep.
and the adjustments that Minglewood had to make
Oh yeah.
during that time, and there were a lot of them.
It's been a wild ride for sure. I mean, there's no book to read about how to operate a restaurant or any industry in a pandemic. So a lot of the stuff we had to kind of learn on the fly. But we're naturally clean and sanitary. All those things we always we already wash our hands. A lot of those things we already do. So it wasn't that hard of an adjustment, but the staffing was a huge adjustment. Trying to shrinking the menus down to make it so that we could actually produce the food in a timely fashion with less staff. So those have been the biggest challenges for sure.
Did you do a lot of takeout?
We did so much takeout,
Yeah.
which was awesome.
And you got
which
that down, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we're not a takeout restaurant. We always have done
Right.
takeout, but to do takeout to that level was also an adjustment too. And I'm really proud of my staff because they really adjusted on the fly, and grateful for everybody in town that kept us going during that too.
Yeah, and there was whole and the Red Rooster.
Yep.
Was right.
Yep.
So explain how that all came to be.
So the Red Rooster came to be because we basically were getting so crushed with takeout, and the restaurant was still super busy,
Yeah.
and we didn't want to have crazy wait times for takeout. And we had that front room that we were booking for private events, but at the time we couldn't do private events, so we just had this empty space. So we said, we kicking around ideas about how to make the kitchen a little bit easier to function with having takeout maybe in a different area of the building since we had a kitchen down there. And then it turned into fried chicken sandwiches over a conversation with the owner and myself, and that's where it came up. And it took some pressure off of that kitchen. And we did temporarily close it for the time being because of staffing, but we're looking like August 22nd is looking like the time that we'll be able to reopen that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so that's going to be
super
exciting.
popular.
And in the meantime, we're also building a wall between the Rooster and the old Rooster dining room, so I can still have private events too. So it's going to be a whole bunch of different things down there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, you have the best outdoor dining situation maybe in the city.
We do.
Did
We have
that
a great
just,
spot, yeah.
expand and become like I keep saying crown jewel. That seems to be the word on our show. But was that just a stellar spot right now?
It's a great spot. Yeah, I mean,
You're right on the harbor.
we have the awning too, so the rain doesn't affect us fully because half of our deck is covered. So
Yeah.
with this up and down weather, we've been able to still seat the deck, and then we've been seating the old function room as well when it rains. I've been moving furniture around just to make it work so the line's not down the street.
But
And
did-
I'm sorry, go
No,
ahead.
you go.
I was just going, and the bands are back too. I've already
Yes.
seen some music down, which has
Yep.
been great again.
Live music is back fully now, so we do Thursday night acoustic from 7:30 to 10:30. Fridays and Saturdays we do live music. We just started back up with the Monday night jam, which is 8:30 to 11:30, which is an awesome, sneaky good night to come in on a Monday night.
That's great
because
to
it's
know.
like an all-star cast of musicians from all around here, just jamming for 15 minutes at a time, and it just rotates through. It's awesome. And then trivia is on Tuesdays.
Yeah, very
Yep.
cool.
You still have trivia.
Yeah.
So what about staffing? We asked Jean the same question. Have
Yeah.
you done anything to sort of lure people in?
So we've used a number of platforms to get. We hired a recruiter we have a number of restaurants. We actually hired a recruiter to help We've been doing sign-on bonuses in the past. We've done incentivizations for the staff members that they get friends or family or whatever. So there's been a number. I'm fortunate because I have a ton of front of the house staff that have been with me for 10 plus years. I've been down there for 14 years. So the front of the house staffing was relatively easy because they all come back from college and they've been with me for a long time. The back of the house has definitely been challenging. My background is back of the house, so I'm usually in the kitchen in the summertime anyway. So I've been able to help out there and cover holes when needed. But the back of the house staffing has definitely been the hardest.
So let me ask Zach about clientele and the community. And we saw how people were rallying around, especially the food industry here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we do. I mean, if people from Gloucester especially are going to splurge, we go out to eat. I mean, that's what we do, or have drinks. So what was that response like throughout the pandemic, and now turn into this summer where the pages turned a bit? Like, what kind of people are you seeing there now, and how has business been?
So usually in the off season we would see a lot more locals, and in the high season we'd see way more tourists. I've seen locals every day all year. It's been like, I can't tell you how grateful I am for the community. They are all coming out. When there's a line out the door of tourists in July, the locals are still coming out. It's unbelievable.
It's the buffalo cauliflower.
It's got to be the buffalo. It's got to be.
I was going to say the Monday Jam, but that
that's
too.
fine
Yeah.
too.
Cool. So Zach, for the person out there watching who hasn't been to Minglewood, can you just kind of tell them, lure them in somehow? Tell
First
them
of all, it used to be latitude 43.
Yeah.
We got to say that.
on Minglewood Harbor side.
Yeah, now we're Minglewood.
Yeah.
I mean, from my standpoint, what I like about Minglewood is I can get a sushi roll on Monday and go back on Tuesday and get chicken wings for 50-cent wing night. I can also go on Friday and get a local haddock. So there's a number of, it's a place where you can go multiple times a week and not really get sick of the food because it's always different. The sushi, wings, all kinds of things. So that's what my biggest draw is for there.
Yeah.
Yeah, good
And the
point.
live music.
Yeah, right.
And good bartenders. Just
Excellent bartenders,
really
yes,
good
yeah, they're
bartenders.
good
Great
ones,
drink
yeah.
selection as
Right,
well.
right.
Okay, Zach, so if people want to learn more about Minglewood, how can they go about doing that? And if people are looking for work,
Yep.
who should they contact?
So they can go right on minglewoodharborside.com. There's actually a spot to apply for a job there for any of our locations. So it doesn't have to be Gloucester. If you could travel, you can go over the bridge, go for it. Or you can just call the restaurant, and ask for Zach. I'll happily talk to you about it.
Gotcha.
All
And
right.
normal hours of operation.
So right now we're not open Monday and Tuesday for lunch. So we open at 4 o'clock on Monday and Tuesday, close at 9:30, and then the rest of the week we're open 11:30 to 10.
Cool.
Great.
Awesome
Great.
stuff, Zach. Hey, thanks for joining
Thank you so
us.
much for
man.
having
me.
You got to
Great to
get
see
back
you
to
again.
work.
Thank you. I
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
Thank you very much.
I'll
Be
see
in
you sooner
soon.
than later, I bet.
Yeah.
All right, Zach Sears, he is the general manager of Minglewood Harborside, right down the street here.
Right there.
On the
yeah.
working waterfront.
Ward two.
Very cool. Okay, so we told you that Jean Hennessy might circle back with a special guest, and she actually has Chef John Welch. He is of the 1606 restaurant here that is part of the hotel. 1606, of course, named after Champlain naming the area Beauport, which is how this sort of came about
Right,
in the year
exactly.
1606. Did you know that, Heather? A potential timeline.
Yes, that is a potential
Yeah.
timeline. Get on that one.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Look at
Chef.
this.
Oh, that
Beautiful.
is a little niçoise sort of situation.
Hi, John. I'm
Yes,
Kory.
it is. Hi, Corey. Nice
Thanks
to
for
meet
doing
you.
this
And I'm
with us.
Heather.
Nice
Welcome
to meet you.
back,
Nice to
Jean.
meet you too.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes,
so
this is our take on a tuna niçoise, essentially. Classic dish, kind of our twist on it using local tuna.
very nice.
How about local green beans?
Not
Not
local
yet.
green beans yet.
Yeah,
you know.
they're not ready yet.
They're about
Yeah.
to pop up now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's
John, let's talk
beautiful.
a bit about 1606.
Okay.
For folks who don't know about it, what do you offer there? Seating, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, we offer this beautiful view, first of
Yeah.
all, before we even get into the food,
Yeah.
right? We also have a new Oyster Bar that we're starting to showcase a little bit more.
It's gorgeous.
From a food standpoint, what we want to serve is fresh local seafood and use as many fresh local ingredients from the farms as possible too. We're tied in with Northeast Family Farms, so we can source out through farms all throughout New England for all of our produce, and then the fish. You're in Gloucester.
Right.
You can't miss with the fish.
This is true.
So we're just trying to support as many local places as possible, and then put out the freshest possible product.
Yeah. And what about your background?
Oh, my background.
It's
Well,
extensive.
well, yeah. I mean, I grew up in York Beach, Maine, so this is a sort of homecoming for me. But I went to school out in San Francisco, and then I traveled around for quite a while, and I ended up, I did independent restaurants for a long time. And then I decided to get involved in hotels. So about 12 years ago, I started working for the Ritz-Carlton in Naples, Florida, which is the largest Ritz in the United States, food and beverage-wise. There's 11 restaurants inside the hotel. So what I like to tell people is I went from local farmer showing up at the back door with a crate of green beans, if you will, to an 18-wheeler pulling up to the Ritz-Carlton, you know. So I learned a lot there. So here I think I tie in both of those backgrounds, you know, the ability to do volume, but at the same point bring that farm to table to the restaurant also.
I was going to ask, what sort of culinary or personal touches are you bringing to the dishes here? I mean, everyone, when you think Gloucester, you're automatically thinking seafood, seafood, seafood. Are there other things that you're trying here as well?
Sure, yeah. We have a prime New York strip on the menu right now. You know, we have filet mignon. We have a pork tenderloin on the menu. So we try to touch every facet of the culinary gauntlet, if you will. I think there's 52 items on the menu right now. So it's quite extensive, you know. So we're trying to please everybody.
Well, I have had lunch there, and I've been with two ladies, so we all had salads, because that's what we do at lunch, right? But they were exquisite, I have to say. Each salad, I know I had the Caesar salad with the focaccia crumbs, I think?
Yeah, we take focaccia bread and we cut it up and we make croutons out of it, and then we make a crumble out of it. But what's interesting about that Caesar salad too is we cure egg yolks.
Yes.
So we take egg yolks and we cure them in salt and sugar for 4 days. So it essentially cooks the yolk, and then we shave it like cheese over the top. So it's an interesting
divine,
modern technique.
Yeah, really delicious.
Yeah, my MO is usually I just come in, it's like, just give me the appetizers.
The appetizers are great here.
Load them up. Let's keep going with them.
The samosas that you make, those are delicious.
The sliders are awesome too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we try to hit different ethnicities and cuisines too, you know. So you touched on that with a little bit of Indian touch with the samosas.
Right,
You know?
right.
So it's fun to be able to try things like that too, and then stick with your basic traditional New England baked haddock dishes too. You know, so you can get a little bit of everything.
Yeah. What are the most popular items on the menu you're finding?
Right now, I think our most popular dish is a halibut dish, but we pair it with lobster. So it's halibut and lobster, so you really can't miss. You know, so
Surf
it's
and surf.
Yeah, you know, so it's halibut with a lobster risotto and then a lobster velouté sauce. So it's a simple dish, but when you get those flavor combination of halibut and lobster, it's just it's flying out of here right now.
I bet.
That's awesome to hear. Okay, what
That's
about
Chardonnay
hours
with
of
that.
operation?
Hours of operation: 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Sunday through Wednesday, and then Thursday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. So
Very cool.
we're a 3-meal restaurant, so we do a little bit of everything too.
Yeah,
you
those
know?
are long days for you.
So, yeah, well, I try not to be here for the entire day.
Awesome stuff. Well, thanks so much for sharing this with us,
Yeah.
and we'll get great pictures of this.
And we'll
about
get
it
you
as
a
well.
fork and knife.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the most important part.
yeah, just one fork. Thanks so much. Okay, Gene, we'll see you in a
Our
little bit probably
pleasure.
again. Chef John Welch,
Pleasure to
thanks so
meet
much
you.
for your time. The
Thank you.
1606
Yeah.
Restaurant and Bar right here at the Beauport Hotel on Commercial Street in downtown Gloucester. Great stuff there too. And now, Heather, our highly anticipated part of the program.
Yes, exactly. Our musical element.
Yes.
Right?
Singer-songwriter
Grace.
Alexandra Grace. How are you, Alexandra?
I'm doing great. It's so beautiful here. Thanks
Isn't
for
it?
having me.
What a day,
Really
huh?
enjoying this. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a day.
So let's talk a little bit, Alexandra. There's some big news here, right? Do we want to talk about the John Lennon Award, Heather?
Yes, that's what I would like to talk about.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
recently won the John Lennon Songwriting Contest?
Yes, their Song of the Week award, which I was super excited about. So thankful for. And then
And
there's
was
like
it a surprise that you?
It was a surprise. So I literally, like, on a whim at like 11:30 at night one like Tuesday night, was like, you know what? I'm gonna enter the John Lennon Songwriting Contest. Why not? You know. So I entered it. I just kind of closed the laptop, forgot about it, and then, you know, on a Monday, the next Monday morning, I got a phone call as I was on my way out to get, you know, my morning coffee, and it was from New York, and I was like, this is definitely a spam phone call. You know, those happen all the time. But I was like, you know what, I'm gonna answer it anyway. So I answered it, and it was the people from the John Lennon Songwriting Contest, and telling me I won the Song of the Week, and they sent me over like a really nice keyboard, some headphones, all this like gear that I'm so thankful for, and using it to record my next songs that I'm working on right now. So
I was going to
yeah.
ask you about that.
Well, can you tell us about the song that won the contest?
yeah, so I'm gonna be playing it. It's gonna be the second song I play, so a little
Okay.
later on.
Okay.
It's called Medicine, and I was super sick beginning of 2020. We were pretty sure that I had COVID. And I lost my voice for over a month, which was really rough as a singer. And I was finishing my last semester at Berkeley, so doing that without being able to sing was a little bit hard. And as soon as I was able to sing again, I sat down and wrote that song. And it's kind of, you know, I was taking a lot of medicine and stuff to make me feel better. And it's kind of about how love is like medicine to the soul. So yeah. That's where that one
And
came
Alexandra, how's your summer going? And now that you're actually back playing live gigs in front of people again.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I was not expecting gigs to be back like in, I'd say like April. I was like, it's gonna be another summer without gigs. And I think a lot of people expected that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden in May when things opened back up again, all of these gigs started, coming up, which I'm so excited about. I've been having a great time being back out there. I've got a bunch of stuff coming up. It's been really busy. So yeah, super grateful for it.
And Alexandra Grace Music, right? I know that's
on Facebook you can find me Alexandra Grace Music. I have all my upcoming gigs listed on alexandragracemusic.com, which is my website, and then my Instagram is just Alexandra_Grace.
Very nice.
So I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes. Alexandra Grace. The album I just released is called Soul Sis.
That's right. Yeah.
So.
Beautiful stuff. Okay, so
Great.
now what are you performing for us now?
Yeah, so this first one, I'm in the process of recording right now, which I'm excited
Exciting.
about. It's called Dragon, and I wrote it kind of about being a woman in the music industry. It's very much a male-dominated industry, and I'm doing my best to try to change that. I also teach private lessons, so I'm always trying to encourage, my young women students to get out there and make music and write songs. So I kind of wrote this about that, how I don't need a Prince Charming to help me, with it. So it's called Dragon. I guess I should be over it. Worry about something older than this. Run instead of chasing it and sharpening my sword. But this is what they trained me for. And fairy tales and folklore. I'm not hiding behind some door. I'll knock it down instead. You can show me the way to whatever you need me to slay. You can keep the Prince Charming. I'd rather have a shield. I know that won't try to harm me or tell me what to feel, 'cause I'm more scared of being teared into by someone like you. You can keep the Prince Charming. Who knew the real dragons didn't have tails, not even talons? Instead they impale with empty promises, going lost in his eyes and his smile and his lies. You can tell me it's not that way, but this time I won't look the other way. You can keep the Prince Charming. I'd rather have a shield. I know that won't try to harm me or tell me what to feel, 'cause I'm more scared of being teared into by someone like you. You can keep the Prince Charming. Light me up in flames, tear apart my name, put my picture in your frame, thank you for the fame. Light me up in flames, tear apart my name, I will be okay. Light me up in flames, tear apart my name, put my picture in your frame, thank you for the fame. Light me up in flames, tear apart my name, I will be okay. You can keep your Prince Charming, 'cause I'd rather have a shield. I know that won't try to harm me or tell me how to feel, 'cause I'm more scared of being teared into by someone like you. So you can keep your Prince Charming. You can keep your Prince Charming. Thank you so much.
Beautiful stuff, Alexandra.
Love that.
That was gorgeous. Okay, stay right there. We We want to come back to you a little later on in the show, but we thank you for being here with us today. And if people want to find that song, how can they do that?
Yeah, so I'm recording it now. I'm planning on releasing it within, the next several months. But you can follow me on Spotify or Amazon or Apple Music in the meantime and listen to the stuff I have released and be on the lookout for this one.
That was a debut?
That was a debut.
Woo.
Yeah, you guys are the first to hear it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you
It's an
so
important
much.
song. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, that was great stuff, as
Excellent.
always, from Alexandra.
We
Amazing.
still have more great stuff.
We do. Yeah, we would like to introduce you folks to Anna Eves and Deanna Faye Anaya, and they are from the Cape Ann Makers Market. They're just coming off one great event they had at
Anna.
Ocean Alliance
Nice to
within
see
the
you.
past
Nice
month.
to see you too.
And another one coming up in August. So how are you, ladies? Yeah.
Good. We come bearing gifts for you.
Oh.
So there's a salt for each of you.
Yeah.
My
Anna
favorite
also
thing.
has Cape Ann sea salt and Cape Ann G
All right.
clay as well.
Yes.
To mention that.
Yes.
Oh, look at that.
And a trucker
And a
hat
hat.
for you.
Yeah. All right, I'm just going to do a little product placement here.
Yeah, we'll get pictures and share later as well.
Yeah.
And
That's
then,
beautiful.
and Deanna is with the Holdfast Company.
Yes.
Right?
So I come bearing soap.
Love soap. And I saw these
Gorgeous.
online. They look beautiful. And
They
I'm
are.
very
Thank you.
excited about this. So these will be mine.
Yeah. So well, let's talk.
You
let's
got
talk
the
quickly
hat.
about. Let's talk quickly about these products
We didn't
here
mean to
too.
start a fight.
Well, I will do a little.
Okay. So Anna, first, I guess quickly, let's talk about Cape Ann sea salt.
Sure.
Yeah. What's the? Give me the A to Z on this. How did this all
The
come
A to
about?
Z,
Where's
so
this all coming from?
It came from a fascination and love for salt and a fascination with salt making, and then living on Cape Ann. I just had to make salt. And then last year, like a lot of people, I had a little bit of downtime from the regular job. So I sent James out into the ocean.
Your
with
husband James Eve
my
from
husband
Cape Ann G
James,
clay.
who
yeah.
doesn't know to run yet when I say I have an idea. So I sent him out into the water with 5-gallon buckets, and then by July we were in farmers markets, and we're online and at the various farmers markets around Cape Ann.
Very cool.
Wow. So are you desalinating the water?
Yes. So basically we're solar evaporating.
Okay.
So we harvest the water, filter it, and then I have evaporator tables. So it's all just solar evaporated. I don't use any fossil fuels in making the salt, so it's all natural and it's eco-friendly and sustainable and a lot of fun too,
Carbon-free.
and
Yeah.
delicious.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
very excited
Very
about this.
Oh, good. Thanks.
Yeah.
And Deanna, the
Yes.
soaps, the amazing
Soaps.
soaps. I have these
Thank
too.
you.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, tell us about your name because it's an interesting name.
The Holdfast Company?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So Holdfast Company is Holdfast is a nautical term. And it sort of became inspired by a good friend of mine, Jim Dowd. And it just resonated with me, and I held on to it. And it just became
wonderful
an
guy.
appropriate time. It was
Yeah,
right about
missed
when
you
we
a
were
lot.
starting our business and trying to come up with a name. And it has not just the nautical terminology meaning behind it, but it has some significance around holding fast to who you are and being true to yourself, and so many other sort of, inner spiritual type meanings. So I love the name, and it makes me think of my dear friend. So
That's great. Who we lost way too soon.
yeah.
Okay, do you want to talk about the product itself?
Yes. So we've sort of become known as a soap maker, even though we make other products. But our soaps are all meant to be everyday, sort of zero waste, all natural soaps. If you think about soaps that you get in the grocery store or the drugstore, they can't legally call them soaps because they have so many artificial ingredients in them that they're not actually soaps anymore. So legally they can't do that. So our soaps are made just with a simple process. We use all natural plant-based oils. So there's no fillers and colorants. They're not, my sister-in-law has a designer soap that she got when she was in high school, and she still keeps it on a dish, like sort of showcasing this beautiful soap that she purchased in high school. She's now in her 60s.
Wow.
So we wanted to be sure that we're making a product that people can use every day and feel good about.
Yeah, right.
So
Please,
it's
Not
good.
preserving for 40
Yeah,
years.
that it's good for you, and it's also good
Fossil
for the
soap.
earth.
Yeah.
So.
Very nice. Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about the
Yeah,
Cape Ann Makers Market, right?
absolutely.
So I guess explain the event and where was that? And we know the first one was a big success.
It
So let's get
was,
into that a little bit.
yeah.
So folks, just give them an introduction to the Cape Ann
So
Makers
Cape
Market.
Ann Makers Market was actually started in 2019 by Deanna and Deanna's business partner Deb and I as a way for local artisans and makers to have a place to show their wares and for buyers to come and buy locally made, handmade products. So everything has to be made by the person who is selling it. And we had a great success in 2019. We had to scale back last year because of COVID, and now we're back in full force. We had our first event at Ocean Alliance, which was a huge success. We've got another one coming up August 19th, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's the same night as Splash. Which is the cultural district.
Splash, yeah.
So there's a free water shuttle, free trolley. We have over 25 vendors that will be there. Amy Kerr is also going to be showing her artwork. She's got a beautiful series that she's done. And we're looking for a food truck. So if anybody has any leads on a food truck, we'd love to have a food truck. And music too.
Yeah.
I think we'd like to add that in. So and we're also looking to have more events. We'll have a holiday market in November. We really feel like Cape Ann needs this kind of venue because there's so many people doing so many wonderful things on Cape Ann that need a place to show their wares, and it's also a lot of fun for people to come and look and see what people are making and
It's always
pick up
great.
some gifts and for themselves and for other people too. So
Yes.
So did I miss something? Is the next one at Ocean Alliance also?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure.
Yes.
Yes.
Deanna, how did that come about? The venue and how is that? I mean, that's obviously a great fit.
Oh, sure. And I just want to add, too, for people that were at the July 15th event, we have several new vendors that will be at the 19th. So it's not going to be
It's not gonna
just
be-
seeing the same things.
Yeah.
So yes, Ian Kerr is a friend of my husband's. They are they're biking.
Oh, and snot enthusiasts from
And we had held our Mother's Day pop-up, and Ian came by and was like, you guys need to do this at Ocean Alliance. And so that's sort of how it came about.
Yeah.
And they've done these amazing renovations in the building.
Yes.
And our 19 event was in a factory, not a factory, but a warehouse.
Yes.
And so when we went into Ocean Alliance and saw sort of the state of renovation and just the sheer funkiness of the site, we thought,
We like it.
Yeah, like we like to do events and unusual, interesting
places.
spots.
How about parking over there?
There's not a lot of parking. There's limited parking right at Ocean Alliance.
Yeah.
But you can even park downtown, do some events in the cultural district downtown, hop on the water shuttle or the trolley.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
And
That
then
sounds
just
really
walk
cool.
up from the studio. It's really not far from where you get dropped off by the water
Right.
shuttle or taxi. And also Rocky Neck has events because it's Splash. So you could park at the Rocky Neck parking lot and just walk through Rocky Neck
Yep.
Just
to us and
like over
just,
the hill. Yeah.
partake of all the fun stuff that's going on throughout Rocky Neck.
Right.
great.
We had people coming by foot, by boat,
Yes.
by bus and trolley.
Yeah.
It was great.
It sounds like a great event.
Yeah.
I'm
It
sure
was.
Ian
It
will be
was
in
a
a
lot of fun.
jetpack or
That's
probably
right.
over and above or something.
We had the drone. We had the snot bot flying above.
Of course you have
Yeah.
a drone. Of course you do.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if people want to learn more about the Makers Market and the vendors as well, how can they go about doing that?
We have a Facebook page right now, Cape Ann Makers Market on Facebook.
Yep.
We will be adding a website and an Instagram as well, but for right now you can get your information there, or you can contact Deanna or I directly.
Okay, so the idea is this event happens August 19th and then subsequent events, obviously leading
Yes.
towards the holidays. And
Oh yes, absolutely. We don't have everything set in concrete yet, so we're not going to announce those. Hopefully maybe you'll have us back and we can let you know when those will be.
I think
Yeah.
a show at Ocean Alliance would be pretty nice as well.
Maybe somebody
Right.
here has a large space that we could use for our holiday sale.
Interesting, yeah.
We're looking
Yeah.
for something
Yeah.
that would hold 40 to 60 vendors.
Well, yeah.
So
Yeah.
if anybody out there has a warehouse
Yeah.
or empty retail space,
Don't
Yeah.
you have a big garage, Corey?
Oh, there you
Have a
go.
parking lot, like a
Yeah,
driveway
like that,
that
right.
fits 10 cars. You do something in there.
We'll be right over.
All right, Anna Eves and Deanna Faye Anaya.
Yes.
Anaya?
Well, it's Deanna Faye. It's easier.
Deanna Faye. We'll stick with
Anaya
that.
is,
Yeah.
my married name. So.
Of the Cape Ann Makers Market. Thanks so much for your time
Thank
and
you.
sharing some of that
Thank
stuff
you.
too.
And thanks for doing all
find
this.
them on
Oh,
Facebook
yeah,
especially.
a
I know
lot
they
of
have a
fun.
nice
It's
page
great
there.
for
too.
Cape
Yeah.
Ann Makers Market.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thanks so much.
All right, good to
All right,
see you both.
August
Too. It's
19th,
been since
Cape Ann
Rockport
Makers
Elementary
Market at
School.
Ocean
Exactly.
Alliance
I
on the
know.
Rocky Neck.
Well,
Thank you.
Bye.
Good to see you.
You too.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
That was
so
nice, and we love these gifts as well.
I love these gifts. Yeah,
So-
these gifts and these. Thank you, Kory, for giving yours to me.
Did you want the hat? You want to trade
No,
soap
you get
for a
the
hat?
You get the hat. But our next guest,
So
I think,
it's going to be Gino.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, is a favorite Gloucester citizen of mine. Favorite citizen of mine, I should say. And anyway, we'll learn all about him. It's Gino. Come sit down.
How are you,
You're
Gino?
too busy packing up. You're supposed to do the introductions. Hi, Gino.
How you doing?
So this is Gino Mondello. Gino and I,
There you go, Kory.
I should not say
Thank you.
Gino and I. You took me out on your lobster boat for a fabulous lobster education.
Right.
Maybe, I don't know, 8 or 10 years ago.
A while ago.
Yeah, it was a lot. But we're going to talk about the lobster industry, but you also have the Dory shop right down on Harbor Loop.
Yep.
And you build wooden dories.
That's right.
So can you talk to us about building wooden dories, but why is that important to this area? Why is a wooden dory culturally significant? Or maybe is it not culturally significant?
No, it is.
Yeah, okay.
Gloucester was famous for dory fishing from God knows how long.
Right.
And I think that ended in like 1952 was when Adventure was the last dory trawler out of Gloucester, gave it up. And it just kept on. People still wanted to row dories, and then you had the great schooner races back in the 20s and 30s, were all dory fishermen. And when that ended, somebody from Gloucester challenged Lunenburg, Nova Scotia dory fishermen to a dory race right out here.
Yeah.
And it's been really popular ever since.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
The International Dory Race is still happening.
going.
Yeah, still going strong.
Yeah.
And you were supposed to head up to Nova Scotia this week,
Yes.
but instead we got you on our show.
Yes, they have not yet opened their borders. Maybe in the middle of August. But there'll be no dory races in Lunenburg this year, as there was no dory races here. We're gonna have a fun race next Saturday, right off of the Coast Guard base.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So, Gino, were there shops set up all along the waterfront where people were building wooden dories?
I can only find information on one dory shop here in Gloucester. You go to Nova Scotia, there were like on every corner up there. And for some reason, the Gloucester boats all use Shelburne dories rather than Gloucester dories. And you had a dory shop up in Lowell who built a lot for some of the local boats, but the reason being they bought Shelburne because they were $1 cheaper. Because a dory back then only cost $5.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
It is.
So when you say Shelburne,
Nova Scotia.
well, yeah.
See, all the boats left here stopped in Shelburne to get bait,
Okay.
whatever they needed, then off to the Grand Banks. So they picked up their dories in
And
Shelburne.
saved a buck.
Saved a buck.
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So, Gino, what goes into making a dory?
a lot of work.
Yeah. Where's the wood coming from? What kind of wood are you using?
Okay,
Like-
the wood is all locally sourced.
yeah.
Local white, eastern white pine and local white oak, which is basically coming from West Gloucester and Essex.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's enough. Well, you're not building 20 dories
No, but
a month.
there's still a big call for wood
Yeah.
for other projects besides dory building, but I was using a sawmill in West Gloucester right by the fire station. John Burlingham, I don't know if you know John, he used to own Zeke's Coffee Shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a sawmill and he used to cut all my wood for me, but he decided to retire again. But I have enough left to do maybe 3 more dories, and then I don't know.
Where you'll get the
Supposedly
wood.
there's somebody in Essex cutting wood, but I haven't seen him yet.
Oh, and what are the dimensions of a dory that you're building?
Depending on, there's 3 different basic dimensions. One's called a single dory, which is 17 overall, 13 on the bottom. The next one's called a bastard dory, which is 18 overall and 14 on the bottom. And the double dory, called the trawl dory, that's 20 feet overall, 15 on the bottom.
And you have this little shop right next to the Maritime Heritage
Right.
Center
Yep.
called the Dory Shop, and you build the Dory inside
Right.
there.
I'm building one right now as we speak.
Yeah. Which one are you building?
I am building the Bastard Dory.
And why is it called the Bastard?
Because it was in between the single Dory and the double Dory, so they called it a Bastard.
They call it the redheaded
That's all I
one, so they
know.
went
Yeah.
with best.
Yeah.
And how long does the process take, start to finish?
Anywheres from 2 weeks to 6 weeks, depending on how much time I put into it.
Yeah.
And I built them as little as 24 hours. I built 3 for the Perfect Storm movie. They wanted them in a real big hurry.
Oh yeah.
They didn't pick them up for 6 weeks, so I built 3 in less than a week.
Wow.
So, and Gino, who's buying them? Are they recreationists? Are they?
Well, I built 4 this since January. I built one for the YMCA to use as a display type thing in the lobby. I built one for the fellow across the harbor in that big fancy house next to the paint factory.
Oh
To
yeah.
put in his garden to put flowers in.
That's a fine use for a Dory.
And I built one for a local guy, local fisherman, just
Yeah.
for recreation.
Yeah.
And I built another small Dory for the Heritage Center as a display. And the one I'm building now is for them to raffle off.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good to know.
Yeah.
So there's the Dory rowing
Yes.
people in the harbor.
Yeah.
Are those your Dories?
Yes, yeah.
So people can see all those
All those Dories. Yeah.
rowers out there.
Yeah, right behind Minglewood, that's where they tie them up.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right. They're beautiful boats.
Yeah.
They
Want
really
one?
are. I do want one. Yeah. So let's
For the garden? Or,
I have
or
water.
for Folly Cove?
Yeah, Folly Cove.
you'll
It's a
take a
little
beating for
heavy
Folly
to
Cove.
pick up.
Yeah, they weigh about 400 pounds.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to figure that out.
Yeah.
But I do want one. So let's talk about the lobster industry also, because you haven't been lobstering, you told us, because of your shoulder.
Right.
Yeah.
As we speak, I'll be putting traps on the boat today.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
And how many traps do you have?
I'm just going to fish 200 this year.
Just 200, one guy alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So do you have any, there's been a lot happening in the lobster industry in the past, 3 years. The tariffs.
It's okay. The camera's here up.
Not a problem.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy things going on in the lobster industry.
Yeah.
But the good thing about it drove the price sky high,
Yeah.
Right?
you know?
So are lobster fishermen kind of happy about
Yeah,
that?
they are.
Yeah.
You know, this time of year we normally get anywhere from 3 to 3 1/4 all summer long. Now it's 650 to 675. That's a big jump.
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah.
But what was it like? I mean, not being able to get out there for those few months.
Well, I don't fish those months anyways, but for the guys that I talked to, they were aggravated.
Yeah.
There's never been a right whale caught in local waters by a lobster trap.
Exactly.
Or Massachusetts. So why did Massachusetts get targeted
Right.
and no other states?
And we're talking about, so this is the vertical lines, right?
Yeah.
And because the tides are so much smaller here than in the northern waters, there's just the entanglements don't happen here.
No.
So, and now, but this enforcement is still going to be happening next February as well.
Yeah, they may extend it. It may last for 6 months.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And there's really not an explanation. Is there a good answer for
No.
why Massachusetts?
No.
Yeah.
Because they evidently in the spring they migrate here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
And I've heard talk of sort of remote control operated traps where there's no line.
It's not going to happen.
Right.
I mean, guys sit on top of each other now with GPSs and lines, with no lines and no buoys.
Yeah.
It's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
So, Gino, what is your day normally like now when you're working on a dory? And are there you get curious people poking in and checking out the shop and wanting to hang out and,
Oh,
and
yeah.
kill your time that
And
way?
they can, right? You let people show
Yeah,
up
they can
and
come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great shop to visit.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got a wood stove going there in the fall, and
Yeah.
people just show up, play music sometimes,
And
right?
we cook.
Yeah, he cooks on the wood stove. It's a great place.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Come on down.
Yeah.
Yeah, more the merrier.
Your door's open, right?
It's always open. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, right on Harbor
Yeah.
Loop
Right on Harbor Loop.
in
Yeah.
downtown Gloucester. Awesome
Exactly,
stuff.
right?
Yeah.
You'll be rowing my dory soon.
Yeah.
400 pounds?
Well, you can take a chance at the Heritage Center, $1 a chance for this,
Definitely
for
doing
this new
that.
dory.
Oh, that sounds
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've done it 10 years in a row, and a couple of them got won by local people. So
I will be there.
Yeah.
I will be. So wait, we should mention that they're having a benefit, right? The
Yes.
Maritime Heritage Center.
Yeah.
So we should talk about that. What's the date?
Well, we were going to auction it off on what we call our Heritage Days on Labor Day weekend during the schooner race.
Yeah.
But because of the pandemic, they really didn't get out there to sell any tickets, so it's going to be Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very
Great.
nice.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, you can watch Gino do his thing down
Yeah.
on Harbor Loop.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, Gene Mondello, thanks so much for your
Alrighty.
time. We appreciate it.
Alrighty.
Yeah,
And
really.
yeah, we're gonna have to swing by. Maybe we do a show from the shop sometime.
I
should.
think that
I'm
would
all
be
for
great.
it.
Yeah.
Right? We've
Yeah.
got the Maritime Heritage Center there, the Adventure,
Yeah.
and the Dory Shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
we
sounds
should
like a
do that.
blast.
Yeah. Come on down.
Yeah.
All right.
Cheers. Thank you so much.
In the fall and winter when the stove's going and we got something cooking.
Yeah.
It's the best.
I'm in.
Last time there's a huge pan of paella.
Paella.
I'll never forget that. Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah. And he has the best recipe for cod cakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Alrighty.
Hey, Gene, if people want to find you or learn more about you, is it literally just go down to Harbor
Yeah,
Loop? Or
go
do
to
you have-
Harbor Loop or contact the Heritage Center.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So-
You're not on Facebook.
I am, but not as the Dory Shop.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, I'm on there as Dory Builder, but it has nothing to do with the Dory Shop except the music. The
Okay.
music part's on my Facebook.
Oh, that's important. So
Yeah.
Geno, Gino Mondello, Dory Builder.
Just Dory Builder. That's
Oh,
it.
Dory Builder. Oh,
That's it.
okay. Not Gino. Okay.
Hey.
Great. And that's how we find out what kind of music is playing there
Yeah,
in the Dory
that's
Shop?
right, yeah.
Great.
Awesome.
Great.
Yeah. Thanks for
Alrighty.
stopping
All
by.
right. Thank
And one
you.
of your, does he still work for you, Barry O'Brien?
Barry, he doesn't work with. We see him every from time to time, but yeah.
He's always down, down there playing with us.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
He's a great musician.
Yeah.
And the herring guy, the guy with the herring boats.
Peter Mullen.
Yeah, he's always playing,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great scene.
Yeah.
It's really a great scene.
Yeah.
All righty.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right.
Thanks, Gino.
Take care.
Appreciate
Bye,
it. You have a good day.
Thanks again.
So I think that puts a bow on it, Heather.
That's our show?
That's our show.
Oh.
Yeah.
I did such a messy introduction to Gino because you didn't help me. So I have to
Well,
apologize to everybody.
I was
and to
getting all that,
Gino.
the soap and the salt.
I know.
I had to hand that off to
you
Kyle.
were packing it up.
Yeah.
I know.
Cool
So,
stuff.
but he's a wonderful guy, and it's a great scene down there at the Dory Shop.
Yeah.
It's culturally wonderful in every way.
Yeah, and those are the places I want to start visiting too, especially in the off season.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really cool and cozy in there, and salt of the earth.
Totally.
Yeah.
Salt of the earth.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so do you want to thank our guests, Heather?
I do want to thank our guests, yes. So we would like to thank our host, the Beauport Hotel, and Gene Hennessy for just having us here on this beautiful morning in Gloucester. It's just been a beautiful experience, and we've had breakfast wafting over to us, the
Yeah.
smells of breakfast.
Yeah.
And we want to thank Ward 2 City Councilor Barry Pett. That was a great conversation.
Yeah.
Zach Sears, the general manager of Minglewood. That was a great update on the restaurant industry and how what they've done to get by. Anna Eves and Deanna Fay of the Cape Ann Makers. Thank you very much for telling us all about their market.
Yeah.
And to Gino Mondello. So my favorite lobsterman and Dory Builder.
Yeah. We also want to thank our crew, David Lufkins at the camera as usual. Our floor manager is Alana Horn. Becky Coyle is our production manager. Matt McMakin is our technical director. Kyle Davey is our digital director. Maureen Aylward is our general manager. Eric Archer is our executive director. Our next show is going to be, we believe, Friday, August 13th from Annisquam Village. It'll be somewhere in the village, I can tell you that much. So, and Heather, it was great again, spending some time with you. Of course, Cape Ann Today, you can find us every day on Facebook and Channel 12 and YouTube and all of 1623's studios, social outlets. So there is that. And once again, we want to welcome back our musical guest, Alexandra Grace. She is, no one has appeared as a musical guest more often than Alexandra Grace for Cape Ann Today.
That's true. And I believe she's performing her award-winning song, Medicine. Is that right?
This is Medicine. Yep. I drink in those healing eyes of honey and green tea. They seep their way through all the scars and bruises left on me. Like when your throat is sore, a little warmth is all you need to be ready to sing again a happy melody. I know I am home by the way you feed my soul, giving me back what he Take what I give and never more. You took my sick and like medicine, you gave me love. I don't like tickles on the knee, but you'll do it anyway. I'm pretty sure you'd do anything for a smile on my face. They say laughter's the best medicine, and it seems though nowadays you take the pain away, no Tylenol could ever take. I know I am home by the way you feed my soul, giving me back what he stole. Take what I give and never more. You took my sick and like medicine, you gave me love. Thank you so much.
And that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Yep.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Yep. That was awesome.